Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to our final episode of the Eastleigh save, where today we're going to take a look at 10 years on. Of course, we've been sacked, so if you haven't seen the last episode, go back and take a look. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe as well, so you get to see the next stuff that'll be coming out soon. It'll probably be at the end of next week that there'll be a little snippet as to what will be happening, so on. But we've got plenty of other videos coming out, experiments, all that sort of thing in the meantime. But today we'll look at 10 years on in Eastleigh, see how they get on. Are they able to do what they want to do? They sacked me because we got relegated and they thought that I wasn't going to be able to bring them back up and become an established Premier League side. So we'll see if they manage to do that themselves. Of course, you've got all the players that are around, so we'll take a look and see who's about, where some of our big players have gone, like Ruben Pereira, who came through the academy, that sort of thing, as well as taking a look at what managers they might bring in, as well as and how they get on in any of the competitions. But let's jump 5 years to start with, see how they get on, see where the players head off to, and what comes of the squad. Okay then, so here we are, 5 years on. I can't recognise any of the names in the side. So 5 years on and they've already got rid of all the squad. Charlie Dugdale's still there, so that's nice to see. He's one of the players that we obviously had in the team during our time there. We brought him in from Celtic. He's made 239 appearances for Eastleigh as well, which is very nice to see. Let's take a look at the history managers. So obviously we were there for a long old time, 12 years, nearly 13 years. Kieran Beckford came in. He left. Then Ollie Cook-Karski came in as a caretaker. Matt Reeves came in and got sacked. Cook-Karski got brought in as a caretaker. Then Stephen Gerrard came in, of all people. That's quite an interesting one. He got sacked after around about 2 years. He did get a promotion, though, which we'll have to take a look at. But I don't think anyone else is going to have matched what we've managed. You've also got Kieran Beckford in there as well, who's the most recent manager. So they've gone through a lot of managers in the last 5 years. I mean, how many of those were kind of actual managers? I'd say 4, maybe even 5 there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So interesting. Kieran Beckford came back which is very interesting indeed. But yeah, so they've gone through 5 managers in 5 years, so not exactly ideal. Bank balance wise, they're on £35 million in the bank, so pretty good there. And obviously, let's take a look at some of the players in the team. So Christian Magoma, obviously, he was looking to leave. He must have left and retired at the age of 37 after 411 appearances for the club, which is very, very good. We've also got in here the likes of Toby and Mole. He's also retired, 318 appearances and 11 goals for Eastleigh, 34 years old at his retirement age. We've also got Calvin Ramsey. He's off at Blackburn now. It looks like he will be retiring. He was sold for $925,000 following the relegation. He seemed to do okay there, nothing spectacular, but he seems to be retiring now at the age of 35. We've also got Carlos Garcia in here, who's obviously the big man up front. Hertha Berlin is the side that he's at now. £25.5 million. So they made a profit on him after their relegation. Didn't seem to quite hit the heights that he did for us. But there you go. And then Arwell Pete, who was one of the players that we brought in January. So one of the last players we actually brought in to the side before being sacked. He's still at the club. 500,000 has obviously done a bit. And we can see here already, they were relegated for 3 years in the Championship, managed to get promotion, but automatically got relegated again. So, I mean, I have to say, I think I've done a bit better than what they predicted and wanted to do. We got them promoted, obviously got relegated, then won the league to get promoted again, got 18th. So we matched kind of the last time we were in the Prem. The relegation, they got 7th, 5th and 3rd. So they were in the playoffs for 3 years, but didn't get any of the promotions until the final one, which was the third place, where they then finished bottom of the league in the Premier League. And now in the Championship, which looks like they've actually got promoted Yeah, 101 points. Wow, that is impressive. They weren't able to win the league, but 101 points is certainly a way to kind of stick around and get promoted. So it'll be interesting to see if they come down again or if there is any other kind of situation with them. Let's take a look at the transfer history, though. Can we take a quick look at how the transfers have gone for them? So if we go back, let's take a look at where were we. So we were here. We spent 57 million in our last season and brought in 74 million. Although I'm not sure if we brought in 74 million or it was them selling players at that stage. I think it was us. I'm pretty sure it was. Although we can see here, I definitely wouldn't have tried. I'd have tried to keep hold of Ruben Pereira a little bit more. A fantastic looking goalkeeper. On 98,000 is that? Or 99? I can't quite see. My eyes are shoddy as anything, but you'll be able to see on the video a bit better than I can here. 48 caps for England though. He's 24 now. 38 or 36.5 million pound move. Quite ridiculous. And he's staying in the Prem with Brighton. So I think that's fair. He is a very, very good player indeed. Otherwise, a lot of players. Guto von Williams was sold to Derby for 2 million. What? He was sold for 2 million after a 14.75 move to us. I mean, I guess he was in the Prem, but then got relegated and then moved on to Leicester for 11.75 and a player exchange. That's madness. What kind of making money is that? Serkan Ozer also went to Derby. Who else have we got anyone else in here that we wouldn't have? I mean, there's Arthur Okonkwo who's leaving us. He's now retired as well. But yeah, that's interesting decision. 144 million pounds spent in that first one where we weren't. What? They spent 144 million pounds? That's insane. And they brought in 218 million, so that makes sense. But they have absolutely culled this squad. Jeez. That is mental. Hugo Anaya being the first one to go to Man United. A very good player. Get in there. Murillo at Hamburg. That's quite a small amount, raising to 35 million, so a lot in the end. Emmanuel Omeje, who we didn't even get the chance of actually coaching because he was still out on loan on Midtjylland when we brought him in. But 62 appearances, 31 goals for Nigeria is ridiculous. He's a very, very good player. I'm gutted we didn't get to use him in the next season because he would have been something else. 32 million though, big profit on him. Goran Roddick, another one that we brought in, a Serbian from Red Star. He came in and now moved to Sheffield United for 30 million after performing very well in the Championship. Tom Lang, he went off to Chelsea. He was one of the big stars that we brought in at a very young age from Ross County, but 26 million profit on that one. So that's a big old chunk of change coming in there. Secheli, Conde, which was perfect. That's exactly what I wanted to happen. We brought him in for a measly £1 million, sold him for 11.75, and he's now gone on to £29 million move. So he made a good profit on him, which was the idea to start with. Feyzoglu, Ibrahim as well, Mohamed Abdul Rahman, go off to Sassuolo. I mean, they've effectively just got rid of every single player in the team. I'm hoping that's because that they were really upset that we got sacked. But I'm not too sure about that. But Christian Juarez, another one that we brought in, barely got to manage, to be fair. But looks like he's come out as phenomenal. £34 million there. Slezak went to Rangers. Baracha to Trabzonspor. Otherwise, not too many players now. I mean, most of them got sold in the first window. First opportunity, they got rid of them. Imanol Mateo went to Rangers as well for 10 million. So that's quite a big one. Yusuf Traore off to Stoke for 20 million. He's one of the players that, again, we didn't get to manage because we got sacked before he came in. Zach Lee off to Sheffield for 14.5, one of the academy players, and he moved on to Stoke as well. But he's been playing in the Prem, which is good to see. He certainly, I think he's definitely had the quality to grow into something like that. Herman Girk, another one who was very good for us. 3.9 million, so a little bit of a profit on that. And he went to Aston Villa and also on loan to Wolfsburg, who are in Bundesliga 2, which is very, very interesting to see. Indeed. Otherwise, I think that'll probably be it, to be fair, because most of the players have gone. So no surprises. But if we quickly just take a look at the players, let's little run through who's still in the squad. Pete, obviously, as we saw. Otherwise, it looks like it is just Charlie Dugdale, the other one. So they've kept 2 players in the 5 years of the team that I built. And they are back in the Premier League next season. Let's see how they get on. We'll jump 1 more 5 years to the 10-year mark and see how it went. And here we are then. So 10 years on. Looks like Pete's still there. He spent a good amount of time at the club. That's 10 years there. And we can see it's been very much a yo-yo club. Let's take a look at the how they got on in their career. So you can see there, I mean, up and down, up and down. They spent that period in the championship, up, down, 20th, 19th. It is appalling. That is so bad. But it looks like they might have just finished 10th. So they got that promotion and they finished 10th. So a fantastic result for them in the end. So maybe they've just about started to, but again, I think I could have done a little bit better than that. Doesn't look like they've won anything since my time in charge as well. So screw them, basically. I'm happy with how I did. Pete's now a legend in the game. Christian Magoma is obviously legendary status, as well as I am, which is nice. I am still recognised at the club, which is good to see. 4-2-3-1 though is the formation of choice. I'm guessing no one else is in the side that was when we were. Pete being the only one still in there. So, yeah, I mean, let's take a look at managers. Have they changed much more when it comes to things? We know that Kieran Beckford was in there, and then Marco Silva coming in, Stuart Taylor, Zeno Ibsen Rossi, Ramon Enriquez. You got Odson Edwards coming in as well as manager, where he got promoted. But he was sacked 200 days later. I mean, they don't like having managers for longer than a year. Since me, there has only been Steven Gerrard and Ramon Enriquez who have lasted over a year. And Ramon Enriquez was only just. So they're not... I'll be surprised. But Neil Davis has managed to keep them up for a second season in the Prem. So good on him. But with that, we will probably leave it there. It's just the red and green going up and down. Definite yo-yo club. But thank you very much for watching. I hope you did enjoy the Eastleigh save. I certainly did. It was great to have a go with one of my local teams at the lower levels of football and bring them to the Prem, even if it wasn't quite as successful as we maybe hoped. Like I said before, we have got an idea coming up for another save. It is a bit of an interesting one. I don't know quite. It is taking a lot of work, so just be aware. It may be delayed again. Hopefully not, but we'll see. But with that, it should be end of next week, hopefully. But thank you very much for watching. Make sure you leave a like, subscribe to the channel for more content coming up in the future, and I will catch you in the next one.